Okay, so after listening to that video, I'd like for you to pay attention to these four maps. And if you could look at them very closely. This is the land of Israel slash Palestine between 1946 and 2000. And it's only gotten worse since 2000. And what I mean by worse, I'll explain. This strip of land is extremely small. A lot of it is desert. As you can see on the left here, there in 1946, which was right after the Holocaust, this was all the green is where the Palestinians lived. The little white areas are where the Jews, the Jewish immigrants, and some other Jewish communities who might have lived there for a long time lived. But as you can see, the majority of this was Palestinian land. If you then look to the next map, the United Nations Partition Plan of 1947, this was the compromise that divided the land between the Jews and the Palestinians after the Holocaust. And as you can see, the Palestinians got slightly less land, and we'll talk a little bit about more about this later, but they were a massive population compared to the Jews, the population of Jews there. So while technically the land was divided 50-50, in fact, Palestinians got a slightly little bit less of the land. People might challenge this and say, well, is this really fair? One, Palestinians were more of a population, and two, this land, most Jews hadn't lived in this land for thousands of years, and that was the Palestinians' viewpoint. Like, why should we share our land with a group of people all of a sudden? And that was the concern. So they revolted. We'll talk more about that. And then after the revolts and the wars, basically, as you can see, the Palestinians lost even more land, and what is now called the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. So this arrow, if you can see, this is called the West Bank. And this is Palestinian territory. And then this is called the Gaza Strip, which is in much more dire straits. It's a much more difficult situation than the West Bank, though both places are pretty bad. Everything else is Israeli controlled, and even the green areas are officially, they're Israeli controlled too in many, well, not Gaza anymore, my fault. They used to be. The West Bank is still fully under Israeli control, but however, Gazans are not free either. They don't have access to ports. They can't leave unless the Israelis give them permission, which is rare. So it's often described as a very large open air prison. And then if you look to the year 2000, the reason why you see the West Bank in particular kind of even less Palestinian land is that even though this is technically Palestinian land, a lot of this land is controlled by Israelis through illegal settlements or communities that they've bought that are illegal internationally, but they built them anyway. Roads that Palestinians cannot drive on, and just areas that have bitten into their Palestinians legally protected land. So the Palestinians' land has definitely, if you can see through this map, significantly eroded over time.